the abundance and the fundamental reasons why I said you are not too late for anything in life is simply because everything begins with you, and you need to trust your own timing. Without that, you will be eaten alive by the noises in the world. When you don't have a sense of self, when you don't know where you came from, it's very hard for you to sustain a life of happiness and joy when you run into the unavoidable obstacles in life, in between relationships, your career path, and what you want to do with the rest of your life. You're eventually going to circle back to yourself. And life basically is just you versus you. I remember having a discussion about everyone have their own timing, and you need to respect yourself, respect the people around you, that in fact, they have their own pace and timing on the growth in their own life. You cannot change anyone around you. And sometimes you cannot even change yourself before you actually gain the real experiences through certain areas in life. Like, people can tell you a lot. You can learn a lot from books. But the gap in between, you can actually use everything you learn into your life. That gap is just always going to have you went through it yourself. Because by then, you can be certain that it is how you want to approach your life or in your relationships. And before that, it's just like watching a movie. You watch the scenes progress and how they end and how it shouldn't. But before you actually went through everything, it's just a movie. It's not real. I remember back when I was 20, one of my friends gave me a book. It's entitled in Chinese, translated into English will be like, Stay Motivated with Your Life. And he wrote some message for me. I just read it a couple of days ago. He says that use your passion and your wisdom to work hard and go pursue everything you want in life and to make your dreams come true. And I wish you the best. And that was back in 2002 when I was in the middle of my 20s. I have absolutely no sense of purpose or life goals in my life, regardless of staying motivated. I don't even know what that means. What do I actually need to stay motivated for? At that time, I was still switching jobs one after another, and I don't even know what to do with my life, let alone he's trying to encourage me to stay motivated. And when I look back, I just said to myself, yes, stay motivated, but stay motivated on what? I don't have a sense of direction on anything. I am just drifting in the rivers of changing jobs. That's all I know. And I was unhappy without a sense of direction. And that is not until at the end of my 20s, I began to start trying to get knowledgeable about what can I do to work for myself in the beginnings of my 30s. And I think the reasons why he gave me that book, it's because at that time he just returned from United States, the state of San Francisco, learning tattoo for over a year or two, I think. I think that's when, at that time, I think he's around 36-ish, before 40s. And he, maybe for the first time, find the direction in his life, a career path that he's passionate about. and he feel purpose with, and he wanted to dedicate his time and life to. That's why he inspires to give me that gift of book, because he went through that. His timing is done, and he knows that it is so important to find out what you actually enjoy doing every single day of your life. And the intentions are good. The friendship, it speaks love. But for me, at that time, I don't have the ability to accept that gift, because my life experiences haven't brought me to that point where I need that punch in the gut. I need that bottom to really bounce back, to have that energy and motivation to find myself a way out, to really recognize what a meaningful life and happy life it is meant for me. And like I said, it is only after my 20s, in the beginnings of my 30s, I began to get knowledgeable and actually try, learn, do, finding a way out for me to do in a small scale about business, for me to, be free in my own survival. And that was my timing. And our time together was just getting wasted, day after day, night after night. And that time before we were parting our own ways, he was getting a real good start in his tattoo business in the central areas in Taiwan, Taipei. He's doing well, but he's been struggling with addiction problem. Even though he never said that he had addictions, he just enjoy to get high. But in fact, he had that problem. And several years after we parted ways, I heard that from another friend of ours doing business in his area, that he's been closed his shop. Because back in the days when we hang out together, we were always partying through the night, and the next day he get high on supplements and to get through his days. I think what eventually the disruption of his career is that he lost himself in drug addiction. And he is actually very talented, have a great taste in fashion and designing. But what he haven't found yet is not his purpose. It's that he still haven't found himself. So he lost in himself and lost the best chance he had in the center of the attention to be a well-known tattoo artist. That's what I mentioned about timing, is that when you given the chance to be successful in certain area, let's say in the beginning of your career, after you finish your education, if you haven't have the chapters, moments before you reach that success, you will fall even harder. So hard. Beyond your imagination. You can see all that examples from the news, from all the successful people, how they sometimes got lost in themselves after all their achieve and their success. That's because they haven't took the lesson well on how to be themselves. And I think when a lot of people begin to question themselves, doubting themselves, of being too late to go after their visions for their life or their dreams, or to be creative or to become entrepreneurs, that's just simply a false understanding of how life operates. Because people approach their life's chapters in, if not millions, billions of different pace and timing. And you really just need to believe in your own life's chapters and timing, and not choose to doubt yourself, doubt your own abilities, and let the standards of the world to affect your ability to live a really joyful life. That's where you go after what you wanted to do, how you vision your life to be. You just gotta learn to be smart about who you talk about life with and how they will respond and have that conversation with you. Because the basic standards of a good relationship, of friends or partnership, is that you want someone to be encouraging and understanding. But a lot of time they have different perception about what a successful life looks like. You might be late in your life, but it's better late than never. And as long as you are still breathing, this life is not ending. It's really not too late for anything. I mean, does it sound better for you to hold that regrets and resentment to your own existence for the rest of your life? From now to 60, 70, would that feel better? Or is it just much better for you to start doing something today and just enjoy the process, regardless of the results? I mean, how to really have that faith and confidence in being who you are. It's just so important for each and every one of us to learn along the way. And I think the people who will be blessed with the most happy, fulfilled, joyful life will always be the ones that always choose to believe in themselves and their own timing, and know that there's no amount of comparison or envy is going to change anything, and that really doesn't matter at all. As long as you can face yourself with honesty, there's no one got anything on you, not even life, because you just needed that time to went through the things you needed to learn about what life is all about for you. And to be honest, no one really cares much about you or what you do with your time or your life, because everyone is busy, focused on theirs. They also have a lot of problems that they needed to face and resolve in their hands. So in a sense, your life is really yours, as long as you know how to keep your life private as needed. Don't share everything, all your thoughts, all your imaginations, your visions to the wrong people, so they won't sabotage you. Intentionally or not intentionally, because people have different perspective on life. Your vision, your dreams for some people could just be a joke because you're not being realistic right this moment. But maybe in the long term, you seeing something right. Always choose to believe in yourself and your own timing. And yes, you are never too late for anything as long as you are still breathing. And I said what I said, and I share what I share, simply because everything is what I've been through in my life. That's my own experiences and chapters and real moments. that I personally went through. And I think through everything with a system, staying close with confidence, positivity, vision, and always believe in dreams. And always believe that life is such a precious gift that really doesn't allow us to put ourselves down. Yes, I understand there are millions, billions of ways to see life. And to have this conversation, I just wanted to let you know in my own experiences in life that no one can really help you. Sometimes you cannot even help yourself, but to going on a detour to the dark side. And it is only when you return that is exactly the time you begin to have a real visions of what you really want your life to look like. And before that, everything just seems a little bit vague and unreal. And a little bit, you almost feel a little bit detached from the idea of stay motivated, work hard on something when you don't even know what that thing is. How do you stay motivated or work hard? And I stand behind everything I said because it is my life's journey, my experiences. And I know there are people out there who are just like me, who just simply didn't know where their life should go. And no matter how late in your life you found out exactly who you wanted to be in this world and how you want to live your life in details every single day, that is the perfect timing. That is the time for you to start living again. Maybe before that, it was just all a nightmare, but how can you see the light without the darkness? Sometimes life is this very bizarre experiences where we need to visit the both sides, the dark and the bright. They coexist. You cannot avoid any of them. You need both of them to appreciate it, the richness and the colorfulness life really has to offer. And no matter where you are in your life right now, when you join this conversation with me, but I just want you to know that there's no such thing as you are too late for anything. There's just no such thing. For me, I think each moment and now is already eternal and forever, because the next day, tomorrow, is never a promised scenario for anybody. I've seen death very closely in my life chapters many times. And that just knocked me right out of my own limitations of how I see life supposed to be. Because you don't know how close you actually are on losing your chance to live at any given moment. Accidents, cancer didn't happen around you doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It actually exists. It's very real. People are losing life every day. And the time you spend feeling sorry for yourself, whining about how you lose the best years of your life, is not going to help. It's just not making anything better. The best thing for each and one of us is always just to live in the present, be in a moment, do your best on what you love, enjoy that passion, experience that journey. That's what life is all about. And even if there's no more tomorrow, you did your best today. There's nothing left for you to regret. And that's one of my fundamental philosophy in life, is that I don't look back simply because I know I always try to do my best. And that's what I did. And nothing more that I can do, even if I go back time. I just need to be better from now on. And that's it. So I think the message in today's conversation will be, spend that time to build that bond, to be your best friend, to understand yourself more and more through all the chapters in your life, and trust your own timing in your life, and just keep pursuing every single visions, dreams, and goals you believe you should be living in. And that's what a happy, joyful life's journey is all about. Just that simple.